This conference will now be recorded.
So before going to the rush order, first let's discuss about cash sales because the triggering point for both the rush order and cash sales is same. So let us first discuss about cash sales and then we'll come to the rush order. So what is a cash sale? It's also a counter. That means whatever we see it in the uh, big bazaar or you go for a Walmart. What we do, we pick a shopping cart, we take all the materials, whatever we need, go to the counter, get it billed, and we just pay the cash and we'll leave store, right? So there is no delivery from the company in the cash sales. So the customer himself will pick the material and leave the store, right? So that is cash sales. So how do the crash sale process works? This is a special sales process. How do it works? So for a cash sales, we have a document type called as CS, and the sales, the transaction is VS01 through which we create. CS is the document type. The specialty of cash sale is whenever you create a cash sales order, delivery will be automatically triggered in the backend, and a bill will be printed and immediately given to the customer. So when you go to a big bazaar or when you go to a Walmart, they're not asking you to wait until they create invoice and they give it to you, right? They're not giving you invoice. They're just giving a retail billing, right? A billing document, they give it to you. So what is that billing document? So what is that billing document and how it's triggered? Because we have a triggering point called as shipping conditions. In the customer master, we have a shipping condition, right? With the help of that shipping condition, this would be triggered, right? So, but without raising an invoice, system will not allow you to create a delivery. That means without a delivery, system will not allow you to create an invoice. When I said delivery yesterday itself, I told you you can create a delivery, but without hitting PGI, nothing will happen. That means accounting entry documents will not be generated without hitting the PGI. So in the cash sales, how it is possible? A delivery is only triggered and bill is given to you, right? But whenever the counter is free or at end of the day of the shift of the person, they do the PGI and they create the invoices. Until then, the amount will be in a suspense account. Amount will be in suspense account because see, sometimes you may get, that means the user may get some more money or he may give more money to the customer. So no one knows what amount is there with the user unless it is settled, right? So end of the day, they go to the manager and they settle the amount and they leave, right? So in the cash sales, whenever you create an order and a delivery will be automatically triggered and a bill also will be automatically triggered and handed over to the customer so that customer can immediately leave. So at the end of the day, or when is the counter free, they do the PGI and invoice will be triggered. So the accounting entry is cash settlement account to revenue account credit. Okay, anything has to be posted into the revenue account. Cash settlement account is a suspense account. So until then, the money would be in the cash settlement account, which will get debited and post into the revenue account. So where is the triggering point of this automatic delivery? We'll see it in the system once we start the configuration. This is cash sales. Rush order. Rush order comes after the production plan. That means you planned for all the materials and you started manufacturing and done. Then some order comes from the customer asking for material, and it's an important customer. All rush orders are from important customers. You cannot say no. You have to confirm it. So the difference between the cash sales and rush order is in the cash sales, customer himself take the goods with him by just paying the money immediately. He will take the goods, right? But in the rush order, company do the delivery. Okay, company will do the delivery in rush order. But when? But when company will do delivery? Only when materials are available. Okay, only when materials are available, then only company can do a delivery, right? So the difference between cash sale and rush order is this. That is, in cash sale, delivery is 100%. That means you can go take the material and get it billed. So that means material is available. But coming to rush order, the delivery will do it done only if the material is available. Okay, company will do the delivery. If not, rest of all the process is same: delivery, EPJ, and invoice. Okay, so when we do rush order, when customer is asking for immediate delivery, most of the rush orders are which are orders placed after the production plans, right? So this is cash sale and rush order. So where is the triggering point? That is shipping condition 10. So shipping condition 10 is the triggering point for creating automatic delivery for the both cash sales and rush order, right? So free of charge delivery, free of charge delivery. Let's say you went to some store and they were launching a new product and they just handed you some sample. Okay, just as a promotional activity, they hand over a sample. Will they charge for that sample? Anyone? Will they charge for the samples? No, right?
No.
No.
They just give it to you so that you can try. You like it, you place an order, right? So that you can try if you like it, or if they want to take your feedback, or like they want to, like if the product is ready, you can buy from them, right? For that reason, they're giving you a sample. So companies don't charge for the samples. Okay, if it is a deliverable product, let's say it's a delivery product, it's not a small product which they can immediately hand over to you. They should deliver to you. Okay, let's say a company launched a new bike. Okay, you placed a request saying that I want to do a test drive. So they send a vehicle to your home. Will they charge for that to do a test drive? They don't charge, right? Because if you like it, you place an order for that vehicle, right? That means that whenever company want to deliver some goods to the customer free of cost, we go for free of charge delivery process, free of charge delivery process. But see, any delivery should be accompanied with a billing document, every delivery, because if a department person stops in between, how do they know that what material you are delivering, to whom you are delivering, from where it is delivering, what quantity you are delivering? How the department people would be knowing if it is stopped for checking at some check post? They'll be knowing this information only by seeing the invoice. So, but you are not selling anything here to the customer, right? When you are not selling anything to the customer here, then how will they know it? That is through pro forma invoice. What is pro forma invoice? It is a dummy invoice. It will not be posted into accounting. That means, see, we discussed yesterday, right? We need to create a billing document and we need to post it to accounting. Then an invoice would be triggered. But here we create a billing document, but we don't post anything to the accounting because we are not charging anything from the customer. But for the sake of the department as a legal process, every delivery has to be accompanied with a accounting document, that is pro forma invoice. So it's a dummy invoice. Okay, so here they would be sending you a pro forma invoice along with the delivery. See, there is no accounting entry happened here. Why there is no accounting entry? Only when it is released to accounting, there will be accounting entry document generated. But here you are not releasing anything to the accounting, right? That's the reason there is no accounting document generated in the free of charge delivery. Then next,
Praveen,
yeah, go ahead.
Praveen, in standard process OTC, when we create a billing document, can we say that billing document a pro forma invoice until and unless accounting document has not been generated?
No, you cannot. Pro forma
Then,
invoice never will be released to accounting. If it is a standard invoice, for the time being, you can stop it until you can release it to accounting. You can create a billing document, you can stop it without releasing it to accounting. But pro forma invoice will never be released to accounting. So you cannot call it as invoice.
okay,
Okay.
that means to say no configuration is there. System itself will not allow it.
Yes. Yes, obviously. We'll know that where is that control, how system controls each and every process and document, where it is. We'll discuss when it comes to the system. There is some control, system will control it. Okay. Then next is subsequent delivery free of charge. Subsequent delivery free of charge. See, in the last session, we have discussed a return process, that is, company has delivered some 100 cars to the customer dealer, and out of the 10 cars has been damaged. So what two options the company has when there is a return? That means some customer complaint saying damage. Anyone?
Either he will
Maybe
ask for money or subsequent
replacement.
some replacement. Yeah.
Replacement, right? So either
Replacement.
you can give back customers money to him, or you can replace the stock with a good stock. Let's assume that in this case customer is asking, saying that I want replacement, I don't want my money back, you just replace the damaged goods. How do you do that? You do that with a process called as SDF, subsequent delivery free of charge. See, when you're replacing these damaged goods, will you charge for that to the customer? Let's say this particular damage has been because of company's loading negligence. Okay, so will customer pay for that particular subsequent delivery? No, right? So we do this with a subsequent delivery free of charge. What if customer claims both? This happened in India for MI. The Xiaomi mobiles. Xiaomi has launched TVs also. So for almost for 15 days there was this issue in the Xiaomi, that is people are placing an order for TV and canceling the order, but Xiaomi cannot claim this TV back and they are refunding the money. That means customer is gaining both way. He is keeping the TV with him and he'll also gaining the money back, whatever he paid. Later someone has reported and they have fixed it. So what if customer take both advantage? He's asking for SDF and credit memo also, right? This should not be happen, right? He should be taken only one. So where is the control? Yes, system has a control that if you do SDF, system will not allow you to create credit memo. If you do credit memo, system will not allow you to do SDF. Only one process is possible, not both, right? So subsequent delivery free of charge, how it is possible? That is by rejecting the items. That means if customer is, you are doing SDF, and see, I told you, right, there are some process which is mandatorily to be referred. Can you name one? Anyone? Can you name one process which is
Invoice correction.
mandatorily referred? That is invoice correction, right?
Invoice correction.
The second process is SDF. SDF has to be mandatorily referred to written order. Mandatory. If not, system will not allow you to proceed. Okay. So when you're creating SDF, you will have some button called as reject items. So there you should reject items. If you reject an item, system will allow you to create SDF. Okay. If items are rejected, system will not allow you to create return invoice, that is credit memo. If already a credit memo is created, then system will not allow you to reject the items. Only one is possible. Okay, that is, and you should also mention what is the reason for rejection, why you are doing this returns: poor quality, damaged stock, price mismatch. There will be a list of options. If you want any in new list also, we can add that. Okay, there will be an options why you are doing this particular return order. That is mandatory. Again, reason for rejection is a mandatory. But then next is quantity contract and quality value contract. We already discussed this, so I'm just skipping it. So these are all the processes. Okay, scheduling agreement. These are all the processes. Now let's go to the system and see what all is controlling this all things like this SDF and everything. Where is the control? Let us just check. Before going to that, let me explain the structure of a sales document. See, a sales document has a structure. What is the structure of sales document? Header, item, and schedule lines. This is the structure of a sales document. So from where the data will come into the header level, at the header level from where the data will come, that is from customer master, CMIR, and the document type controls, VO, V8 configuration, and some part of enterprise structure. Right? This is where the header data will be coming. Any data which comes at the header is applicable to all the line items in the sales document, irrespective of the number of line items. Whether you have one item or 100 items, doesn't matter. Irrespective of the number of line items, it is applicable to all the line items. Okay. The next item data, from where the data at the item level would be coming, that is material master, CMIR, and the item category configuration controls from VO V7. Any data coming at the item level is specific to only that particular item. Serial number 10, X material. Serial number 20, Y material. The color, weight, volume, functionality of X material is nowhere related to Y. Let's say this is a fridge, this is a TV. This is a fridge and this is a TV. Any comparison between that? The size, weight, volume, the functionality, nothing, right? That means the item data is specifically applicable to only that particular item. Okay, it is applicable only to that particular item, nothing to do with other items. But any data comes at the header level, irrespective of number of line items, it is applicable to everything. Okay, that is item data. Schedule lines. What is schedule lines? Anyone? Yesterday we discussed, right? I just told you an introduction. What is schedule line?
Sir, is the quantity which we deliver and the delivery date.
Confirmed
Confirmed quantity,
quantity,
confirmed date.
confirmed date.
Confirmed quantity plus confirmed delivery date is called as schedule lines. Let's say we placed an order for X material 100 quantity. So what system will do? In the background, system will perform availability check and system will tell you whether it's available or not. Let's say that at the moment system could see only X material 50 quantity in the plant. So system confirmed X material 50 quantity on 25th March delivery. So if you have the TOR, that particular MRP process, system will also tell you like it will plan and tell you the what are the material is not available at the moment, when can you deliver. Let's say the other 50 material which is not available at the moment can be also delivered on 30th March, right? Confirmed quantity plus confirmed delivery date. That means a single line item, serial number 10, X material 100 quantity. A single line item can have multiple schedule lines. So schedule lines is part of a line item, particular line item. Okay. So schedule lines is part of a particular line item, and one line item can have multiple schedule lines like this. Right. So this is the structure of a sales document. So schedule lines, our data comes from the controls comes from the VO V6 transaction where we do the schedule line configuration. Right. So now let's go to the Vivo V8 and see at the header level what are the controls we have and how system is identifying different documents and everything. But before going to that, let me show you something. You should be perfect with this particular. No option. You have to remember, memorize, mug up, whatever you do. You need to know these all things. This may take little time, but don't worry. You need to remember everything. Take time and learn it. Until unless you don't know this, that means really you don't know anything. If you don't know, if you can't remember this, you can't remember controls also, right? So let's get into the system and see what are the controls we have. So what's the transaction? It is Vivo V8. Vivo V8. So as I mentioned, we have lots of documents and each document is identified with a different document type. That's how we identify a document. If it's an inquiry, IN. You see, IN. Quotation, QT. Sales order, OR. SDF, subsequent delivery free of charge. A credit memo, CR. Right, like this we identify every document which I just showed you the image. It has everything. You need to memorize these all things. So let us go to the standard OR and discuss the controls. I'm going to OR, select this and go to the details. So don't work on the standard. Don't disturb the standard, please. Copy it. Click the button copy, rename it, and use it. Okay. Don't change the standard configurations. So OR and standard order. This is the description, right? See, if you remember, what is the best practice of SAP whenever you are doing a configuration? It is always recommended that you copy, rename it, and use it. So let's say we copied our sales organization from 1000 and we written as something ZJL or like this, right? It's always recommended that from the standard you copy and rename it, right? The standard is OR, copy and rename it. That's what I'm just saying. Don't disturb any standard, copy and rename it. I'll call it as ZOR. But how do system know ZOR is a sales order? ZQT is a quotation. ZCR is a credit memo. How do system knows this? Let's say I don't want to ZOR. I'll copy OR and I'll want to name it as 79. I want 79 to be my sales order. How do we know that? That means how do system identifies it? That is, system will not see either this particular code or description. System will not see. This is for users. This is for consultants and users to identify what is this. But system will not identify by seeing this. How do system identifies? System will identify by seeing SD document category. Okay. If it is inquiry A, quotation B, order C, all returns will have H. All outbound delivery sales orders will have C. Okay, and credit memos, all contracts will have G, right? By seeing this particular system will identify what kind of document it is. If I go to inquiry, you will see it as A. If I go to quotation, you will see it as B, right? So system will not identify any sales process or sales document by seeing this. It is only for namesake for us to identify, but system will identify by seeing this. Okay, the next is sales document block. See, in the real time, we would be creating lots of document type for different processes. But after some time, customers may not be using that process. Let's say customer is also having a government department where he do business with. Okay, that means he has a distribution channel called as government. But this year, that customer, your business, that particular distribution channel government has not been renewed. That means he's no longer doing a business with government. Okay, he's no longer doing a business with government. Let me put a scenario. So let's take Maruti. Okay, company Maruti is doing business with government. Let's say you take defense. So Maruti is supplying some vehicles to the defense. Okay, but this year it has not been renewed. The license they have not extended to Maruti. They cannot do business with the distribution channel division, distribution channel defense. So all the defense customer, that means the government customer, you are creating an order with ZOR. You created a separate, you copied it and separate document type, and all government orders you are creating with ZOR. But this year you are not eligible. Maybe next year you will be eligible to do that. So see, in SAP, once you do a configuration, you will never delete it. You will never delete a configuration once you do it. You will archive it because you spend a lot of time, everything, right, effort, so you don't delete anything, you archive it. So let's say for time being you want to block this document, you don't want to process. So how do you do that? We do the sales document block. Let's say I don't want to use this document, so I'll put X, save it. And now if I create an order, VS0, you have seen, right, all these days I was creating an order with OR, but now system will not allow you, and it tells sales order type OR is blocked for processing. Where is that control sales order document is blocked for processing? It's here. Okay, so this particular field will help us to block any document for processing. The next is indicator. This indicator is applicable only one process. You go to any other process, you go to credit memo, this will be blank. You go to SDF, this will be blank. You go to contracts, this will be blank. But this is applicable for only one document type called as RK. What is RK? Anyone? What is the document type RK?
Invoice correction.
Invoice correction.
Right? So this field indicator is applicable only for RK. D. Why only for RK? Because in this particular invoice correction has some speciality, right? What is the speciality? Copying the same line item twice. First line item is positive, second line item is negative, first line item is grayed out. So how it is controlled? That is controlled by this indicator. That's the reason it is applicable only for this process. Then next, number ranges. So as we have the number ranges for customer master, here also we have the same kind of number ranges, but the transaction code what we maintain is VN01. Okay, the T code for document number ranges is VN01. So we have both same, again internal and external, we maintain it here. And this is item increment and sub item increment. So what is item and sub item? Let's say you take a computer, a product called as computer. Do we have any product called as computer? Anyone? Have you seen any such product called as computer?
No,
It's assembled product.
it's a combination of many products.
Right? So what is a computer? There is no such product called as a computer. But when you put some components together, like say CPU, mouse, keyboard, and monitor, they all are different products. But if you put all this together, then we call it as a computer, right? But when you sell it, how do you sell it? You don't sell individual parts. You sell as a computer. What is the price of a computer? 20K, right? So this is how you sell it. So this concept is called as BOM, bill of material, because as the product component changes, the price will change. Let's say whether you are taking 15-inch monitor or 17-inch monitor or 21 inches, whether it's a flat monitor or it's a LED monitor, LCD monitor, or you are taking a wireless keyboard or a Wi-Fi keyboard. So it all depends upon the components what you are buying, right? So basing on that, your computer, the main item price will change. So how you want to display the items? That means all my main items, I want to write it as 10 in a sales order. Serial number 10, X material. Serial number 20, Y material. Serial number 30, Z material. That means main items will be incremented by 10 digits. Sub items will be incremented by 1 digit. If computer is a main item, 10. Sub item, 1 digit. 11, 12, 13, 14. Right? This is what item increment is. Right? Then next is reference mandatory. What are the process which need to be having a reference mandatory? Anyone? What process will have reference as mandatory?
Returns process.
Invoice correction and SDF.
Not returns. It is SDF and invoice correction. These two process will have. So for SDF, it is C. With reference to what we create a SDF? With a written order. That is C. C means order. Invoice correction, M. M means billing document. Because you are correcting an invoice, so always preceding document should be an invoice. M means with reference to a billing, and C means with reference to a sales order. That is a written order here. So reference mandatory. How system knows that there should be a mandatory reference for these two process? This is the field which is controlling. This is the field which is controlling. I'll tell a scenario. You just answer me how that scenario would be possible. Let's say my business has different distribution channels, dealers, and we also have government customers. When I create an order for dealers, I want to create it with a document type OR. I don't need any preceding document. But if I creating an order for government customer, I want quotation to be mandatorily referred. Without a quotation, you are not allowed to create an order for government customer. Anyone? How to give the solution for this scenario?
Praveen, for any one
What
customer,
will
we
be
will create
the
a new document type, and there we will give this control to refer to quotation in this field that you are discussing.
right? So we'll copy OR
we
and
just
create a new document type like say ZOR, and for ZOR we'll maintain reference mandatory as QT. That means whenever you are trying to create an order for government customers, always you should refer ZOR, and it will definitely ask you quotation because we have a reference mandatory as quotation. All right. So that's how you get solution
Pra-
fast.
Praveen, I have a question here.
Yeah.
Uh, there may be definitely the possibility that this particular document type ZOR that we are creating for government, it can be used for any other distribution channel also.
We can
Users can
restrict
do
it.
it, I mean to say.
We can restrict it. Okay. We can restrict it, and we can also swap data. We'll tell that. I'll tell that how to do that. So in the business, you will be giving a clear instructions. Okay. So telling them for all dealers you should use OR. All government customer you should use ZOR because basing that only you do the configurations. But by mistake, if user is creating, then what to do? I'll tell you later. Okay. The next is check division. This field check division and item division go hand in hand. This both will go hand in hand. Though if I go for OR, okay, so item division is activated and this is put as blank. Whenever I'm creating a sales order, how I'm creating a sales order? So let me remove the block and save it first. Yeah, how I'm creating a sales order, what fields I'm entering whenever I'm creating a sales order. So whenever I'm creating a sales order, I'm entering document type and I'm entering sales area, right? I'm entering sales area. That means if I enter this sales area here and press enter, okay, I haven't shown you the structure of document, right? Just a moment. Okay. So what is the structure of a document? We have header, item, and schedule line, right? If you want to see the header data, this is the icon. You click this icon, you see whatever you are seeing is header data. You see 1000. There is no material here. There is no material mentioned here at the header level because header data is applicable to all the line items irrespective of number of line items. So only customer you are seeing here. And this is data is applicable in the header. If I want to see the line item, just double click on that line item. Just double click on the line item. You see here, there is no customer. Only material is mentioned here because as I mentioned, the data of material is applicable only for that particular material, right? And how do you see a schedule line of a material? By clicking this icon called as schedule line. You see here, just click here, you will see what is the confirmed quantity and what is the delivery date here. So this is the structure of a sales document, and this is how the data you can see it in a sales document. Okay. So whenever I create a sales order, that means when I press when I give the document type and the sales area and press enter, you see sales area here. If the data is here, it is belonging to header or item. Anyone? It belongs to header or item if the sales area is here. This is header data. Whatever
Header.
you are seeing here, this is header. Whatever you are seeing here, this is item data. That means division is at the header level, correct? But where we maintain division? Anyone?
So
the
Customer
document
material
or middle
master,
master?
material
We
master.
maintain division in the material master, right? So here what we are telling system is you go with the item division. You go with the item division. Whatever the division is in the item, you take it. I don't have any problem. But anytime if you want to contradict, that means if the header division, if the item division is deviating from the header division, I want to throw a message. It is a blank, so no dialogue. If it is a dialogue, system will tell you you are deviating from header division. because at the header the division might be double zero. Header it might be double zero, but item level the division is 0 1. Okay, so it is contradicting, right? So you can control whether you want to go for a error or dialog. You cannot maintain this simultaneously. You cannot maintain 2 here and you cannot maintain item division here. Let me check what's division maintained. MM02 100 to 100, right? Or 100. Okay, I'll go for 100 division. Okay, division is 0 0. No issues here because header division is 0 0. Item division is also 0 0. I'll do one thing. I'll change it to 0 1. Right? Our item division is 0 1. So now if I create an order, so let us put it blank. Okay, item division. So I'll create an order. System should allow me. 100 material, right? Right. So system allowed me. System has not stopped me, right? Even though the header division is 0 0, but item division in the middle must be maintained as 0 1. There is a conflict between the divisions, but system has not stopped me. But now I'll go back and tell system that stop me. If anytime item division is deviating from the header, if it's not both same, stop me. Now if I create an order, you see, now system throws an error. What system says? The division 0 0 in the header, you see, the division 0 0 in the header is deviating from the item division 0 1. There is a conflict. Okay. Usually we will take all the time division from the header, not from the division. But anytime if you want to contradict like this, you can control here saying that your divisions are deviating. So the, as I mentioned, this item division and check division cannot be maintained simultaneously. Sorry, check division 2 cannot be maintained. You can maintain other things. Blank or 1 you can maintain, but 2 you cannot maintain. Right? So that is controlled by this particular check division and item division. The next is probability. Order is 100% definite. Customer has convinced with your quotation and then only he asked you to place an order. You are creating an order. Okay, it's 100%. Order means, right? That's the reason here in the order controls, you see probability as 100. That means your conversion of order is 100%. But quotation is only 70% because the possibility of conversion of quotation is only 70%. Inquiry only 30%. That means the customer asks for inquiry, but converting into quotation is only 30%. Right? So in the order it is 100%, but my customer is telling that you remember we discussed probability somewhere earlier, where we have seen field called a probability earlier. Anyone? Did we see any field called as probability earlier? You remember in the customer master we have
Yeah,
customer
fields.
probability under the sales tab. We have a probability. That is customer probability. How best he will stick to an order without canceling it, right? This is order probability. How best this document type, whatever the orders you are creating in this document type OR, how best they are getting converted without canceling or changing. Okay, so here the customer is telling that my probability is not 100%. There are some cancellations and these things. My probability of order or document type OR is only 80%. Okay, it's only 80%. Now customer is asking you to change it, because if it is 100%, customer will take all the decision basing upon the reports 100%, but that is wrong. Customer's probability is only 80%. So now customer is asking you to change, but this, you see, this is a grayed out field. It's a grayed out field. It's not editable field, something like that I can enter and remove it, right? It's a grayed out field. How to change it? So now you will be understanding what is this SD document category all about. I just told you, right? SD document category will control all the documents. This is how system identifies what type of document it is, right? So you see order, it is grayed out and 100%. But you see quotation, it is editable and it is 70%. I can remove it. I can write something else for quotation. It's editable field, right? So what I'll do is, for order, what is the document category? C. I'll change it to B. I'll change it to B. You see, now this field has become editable. And what is the percentage customer is asking? 80%. Done. Is this solution correct? Anyone?
Think no,
Why?
because you are changing the fundamental properties of the order document type.
Right? So in the process of giving a solution to the customer, I messed everything here, because now this document is not a sales order. This document is a quotation. Even though the description and the document type you are seeing OR, but system will not identify by seeing this. It will identify by seeing this, right? So this is not an order anymore. This is a quotation, right? So what I'll do is I'll change it back to C. Now is it correct?
Yes,
Right?
it's correct.
The document type is the document category C. That means this is a sales order, and we have given customer solution, that is 100%, 80%. And again, you see it is grayed out. It's not changeable. And remember all the time, this should be capital letters. Small letters will not work. You will be stuck up at this thing. There is no small letters. SD document category should be always capital letters. Okay, so this is what probability is. Okay, so we'll stop it here today and we'll continue tomorrow, because let's get some hands-on. You just do this hands-on. So we will finish off today. Tomorrow, the sales document type, we will finish it off. Yeah. Any questions for today?
Sir, that's what actually the check division and item division is there, no?
Mm.
In which business scenario you will use it, sir? Actually, like in which scenario you will use it?
That is one very important concept with which you can learn debugging.
Okay, sir.
With that concept, with that, because you don't know why system is throwing an error, but easily you can find out through debugging. So in what case you will be using that? That means whenever you are going for make to order process.
Make to order first. Okay.
Okay, in the make to order, you use this particular scenario.
Okay, sir. So because it's deviating from item division, so header division to
Yes.
item division means maybe the product will be in different places, so we cannot deliver. So that's why the reason.
Yes.
Okay, okay, sir.
Praveen, I have a question regarding the yesterday's credit memo, debit memo, and an invoice correction request.
Go ahead, Anuga.
Yeah, so invoice correction request, we raise it first, and then later we create a credit memo or a debit memo invoice?
Invoice correction has no connection with a debit memo or a credit memo. Right?
Then,
See,
yeah, because user if mistakenly is undercharging, then we create a debit memo request. So what is the difference between the invoice correction request and debit memo request?
see, without raising a debit memo, you are doing invoice correction, right? By that, you are fixing the issue. Then what is the purpose of raising the credit memo or debit memo? This is
So
the purpose.
when do we decide that? Like, what is the criteria for deciding whether we have to create a debit memo or a invoice correction request?
That is up to the company. Let's say if it is a debit memo, that means you want more money from. See, when you do invoice correction, either you charge more, either you charge less, right?
Right.
Right. So let's say if customer is okay that you just change the invoice, you don't need to pay the difference.
Then we don't need to go for a credit memo or a debit memo.
Yes, when you don't want to pay that particular difference, you don't need to go either for credit memo or debit memo. You can do it with that just
invoice correction.
Invoice correction itself.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So we call it a day today and catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll finish these controls. And before this, let me tell you one thing. See, interview patterns will be like this. They don't ask you what is SD document category, what is reference mandatory, what is check division. Questions will not be asked like this. If I ask you what is reference mandatory, you will tell it, right? It is one field which controls that a subsequent document should be always created with reference to preceding document. But interviews, they don't ask questions like this. They'll just ask a question saying that, can you tell me 5 fields from Vivo V8? That means this transaction. Can you tell me 5 fields? You start telling some fields. First of all, you should remember that 5 fields, because our habit is to like go through field by field of definitions. But if I ask you suddenly, can you tell me 5 fields? Okay, out of today what we discussed, can you tell me at least 3 fields? Anyone? Out of the fields we discussed in the Vivo V8, can you tell me 3 fields?
Item
SD,
category,
Yeah,
state
yes,
just
document category, order types, reference mandatory.
right. So
Yes.
we discussed only 7 fields or something, but you see in the document there are some 15 to 20 fields. So it will not be possible. Even it's possible, don't tell these silly things like say number ranges, item increment. No, they are expecting something more where there is a functionality to that field. Okay, if you tell number ranges, they don't care, because they want to understand how you applied this field. So what happens is in the interviews they'll ask you, can you tell me some 5 fields from Vivo V8? Okay, you start telling SD document category, number ranges, reference mandatory. They'll stop suddenly. Okay, what is reference mandatory? You should tell it. How you use reference mandatory in your project? Can you explain me with one business scenario? This is how the questions will come in the interview. Okay, it's not that just they ask a definition. They'll stop you somewhere, take out that field and ask you to explain with your project business scenario. So be prepared. Choose first 5, what 5 fields you need to tell. As I told you, don't mention these silly fields like indicator. These things don't tell. Tell something which will have a business scenario like this. Reference mandatory, right? So, and also prepare. Today we discussed reference mandatory, government customer like this, right? ZOR. So prepare with the business scenario. And in the interviews they ask, just tell that. They will be pretty impressed. That is how the interview patterns are. Okay. So we'll call it a day today and catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll continue with this and we'll finish all the Vivo V8 tomorrow. See you all and good night. Bye-bye.